Are you a bad mom? Yes, I asked that. Are you a bad mom? And don't think too much into this. Just watch this video. So, welcome back, or if this is your first time, welcome to Reawaken Your Light. I am Elise Wiggins, and on this channel, we support moms and caregivers who are experiencing burnout. We're normally live every weekly, every Monday for Make It Happen Mondays at 11. Well, we just discuss the experiences of being a mom and what we go through every day, right? And then we're also live on LinkedIn on Wednesdays for Workplace Wednesdays at 11. Well, we support moms and caregivers who are burned out, but they're in the workplace, right? We discuss workplace issues. Now, before we get started into today's video, I just have to say, a lot of times when I'm recording these videos, the topics that I speak about are things that I'm either personally experiencing or people I know or either clients. And today I'm speaking from a personal perspective. So let's get into it. So, are you a bad mom? So I often get criticized highly, right, about the decisions that I make in terms of my parenting with my children, what I do. And in the beginning, it really used to bother me. It used to hurt me because you don't want to hear the decisions that you're making with your children are terrible, they're bad, they're this, they're that. But then after a while, you get to understand that if you're the person that's in your children's life every day, meaning like, there's no vacation from being a mom. You could take a break, but for the most part, you're almost there 24/7, right? And I had to realize that I could not take advice from three different people. One, people who either don't have children or have children that did not raise them in their formative years, right? So when someone is giving me advice or criticism, right, now I'm just like, okay, I hear you. But if it does not relate to me, I really just am like, okay, that went over my head. Like, that's just not happening. Two, people who did not raise children when social media was around or prior to COVID. So a lot of times you have these older folks that want to give you advice, and understand that, certain things you could definitely say, hey, I can take that. I can see where this relates to me and my family. But if they didn't raise children during social media and during COVID, a lot of the stuff that they're saying just doesn't apply to what's happening with children today. So there's some fundamental basic principles about love, respect, things of that nature. But when it comes to like other things, it's like, I can't get with it. And then the last one is people who support you from a distance, meaning that they may or may not see your child that often. They may support you financially or some other ways, but they're not there every day, but they have a say, or they feel like they want to have a say to how you parent, right? No. So what had been happening with me was, of course, I have two teenagers now, grateful, a boy and a girl. And again, there's so many different conversations and things that come up where my children were involved in things that I didn't always necessarily agree with. But we don't live in an age where you can take your child and spank them, or there could be like harsh punishment, because the next thing you think that you're disciplining your child, and then you'll have either child protective services or the cops at your door calling it abuse. So no longer are the days where you can pick up a belt, like when I was small, and you can beat your children. For the most part, in terms of like technology, cell phones is not the same. Again, you can't really take the cell phones away. And let me know, comment below and let me know about, your parenting style, discipline tactics, because there's active school shootings, right? So you don't want your child to be in a situation where they can't contact you for whatever reasons, right? So I had to learn, okay, God, you have to show me a divine discipline strategy. You have to show me a way. And a lot of times when I'm making my decisions, and not just in terms of parenting, but like life in general, it will seem like I'm being passive. It will seem like nothing is happening. But secretly, I'm praying. I'm like, God, show me. Allow the Holy Spirit to counsel me, to let me know, like, ideally, these are your children, and I'm a steward over these children. So you have to show me the divine way where I discipline my children without breaking their spirit, right? Comment below and let me know if you can understand what I mean by discipline without breaking their spirit. You're disciplining your child to correct their behavior, but not to the point where they feel like they can't communicate with you when they're uncomfortable or they don't feel safe, and they can't come to you and say, Mom, this is how I'm feeling, because you've blocked that with your punitive punishment practices, right? So I wanted to just flip things around. If you know me, you know I'm someone who loves to turn a bad situation into something good. So I thought of these 3 words in terms of being a bad mother. Number 1, you're blessed. I remember my paternal grandmother, when I used to call her, God rest her soul. And I said, Grandma, how are you? And she's like, I'm blessed and highly favored. I woke up in my right state of mind in the land of the living. Now, at the time, that was just all platitudes. It was just all like something to say when someone says something to you. But now we're approaching almost 10 years of her not being here. And I totally understand what she meant by that. My grandmother had 8 children. And now I understand, when you wake up in the morning, when you wake up and your mind is still working, you can make decisions when no one has to brush your teeth, when no one has to wash your behind, when your children are all breathing, when they're healthy, when you can get them out the door to school. You may not have everything that you necessarily need, but in terms of your mental, emotional, like, you're okay to face another challenge, to go through another adversity, right? You're blessed. And I promise you, I did not realize how blessed I was until I started to face adversity and challenges. And I was like, wait, it seemed like I couldn't think my way through this. It seemed like I couldn't get out of it, but I did. And I started to realize it wasn't what was on me, it was what was in me. So moms, you woke up today for Make It Happen Monday. You are blessed. Consider yourself blessed with a capital B. A, you're altruistic. As moms, what I learned personally is that almost all of the decisions I make, I have to consider, how would this impact my children? When you're altruistic, you're really selflessly thinking of others instead of yourself. How many of you don't have some of the things you need so that your children can have the things that they want? I'll say that again. How many of you moms don't have the things you need so that your children can have the things that they want? And also, too, I think that's something that is kind of like overlooked a lot of the times, where we sacrifice so much just to ensure that our children are happy, healthy, and safe. And a lot of times other people will look at those decisions and the sacrifices we make, and they think like, oh, I remember somebody asked me, Elise, what did you do for what did you contribute for your daughter to graduate from high school? And in my mind, I'm like, are you serious? Like, she lives with me. She's here with me every day. I'm the one who wakes her up, breakfast, make sure if she's having a bad day, I have to speak that word of encouragement, motivation, allowing my children to know God is with you even when I'm with you. So I think that's something that's overlooked, the fact that we're altruistic as moms. So I don't want you to take that lightly, the sacrifices that you make in your life so that your children can have a better life. And last but certainly not least, right? We have you're blessed. We have that you're altruistic. And finally, we have the fact that you're determined. You're determined to work hard in your own way. So understand, like for me, I used to work as a professor. I used to work as a career counselor. But as of this year, I've just been full blast into my own business. Now, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone, which is why we have the different channel on LinkedIn for moms who, are in the workplace. But whatever it is, whatever it is that you do, you are determined to provide a loving, stable, and safe place for your children where they can feel comfortable, where they can feel love, where they can be vulnerable. I think that's something too that's totally overlooked. So I'll give a little example. So back in the days, it was this children are seen and not heard. And I want to say that was like maybe 60s, 70s, 80s, probably 90s too, right? Where a lot of times when we grew up, it was almost as if you had to respect all adults and children didn't have an opinion and children didn't have a say. Unfortunately, that led to a lot of our parents, aunties, uncles, cousins being molested and being that way by someone in our family or someone close in our family, in our proximity. Why? Because we were afraid to tell on an adult. We were afraid to tell our parents because at that time it was seen as disrespectful. It was seen as you're a child, stay in a child's place. These are things that cannot continue to go on. As a parent, you have to be determined to have some form of communication with your children, again, so they feel comfortable in telling you when they're not uncomfortable, when they don't feel safe. You don't want your child to walk around harboring all of these closeted feelings and you don't know anything about it. So as a mom, you are determined to ensure that your children have a better life than you. You are determined to ensure that your children are at peace and they're safe. And again, that's something that should not be overlooked. So let's go through it again. Are you a bad mom? And we changed it and we said you're a bad mom because you're blessed. You're altruistic and you're determined. So the next time someone wants to criticize you, the next time someone wants to downplay your parenting or make you feel guilty about the decisions that you make for the best interest of you and your children, you let them know, yes, I'm absolutely blessed, altruistic, and determined. So this is Elise A. Wiggins. I pray that this message blesses you. If you are not a mom, but you're watching this, and I ask that you share it with other moms just to give them some encouragement, to give them some hope, to let them know there is someone that's here that is supporting them, and that's me. There is someone who is out here building a community for other moms. So as a matter of fact, we're live every Saturday for Burnout Masterclass for moms on Zoom. If you want to register, the link is below. We have what's known as Freedom Fridays once a month, every third Friday of the month. That's not necessarily for moms and caregivers. It's anyone who's experiencing burnout and you want to come and talk about it. You want to vent and you want to be supportive. Come on, you can register. The link is below. And we also have our in-person event, which is our book club and brunch at the Englewood Public Library. That happens every third Saturday of the month, where moms and caregivers get together and we discuss an excerpt from my book while the children are in the children's area in the children's room, and they are monitored by Bergen County High School students and Bergen Community College students, and they're participating in a variety of events. The book club and brunch is from 1:30 to 4:30. Again, at the Englewood Library. We are grateful that we are supported by All Ability Seniors Group of Englewood. We're also supported this month by Lakeland Bank. We're supported by Chick-fil-A and Starbucks of Englewood. And this month, we're actually going to have a representative from the Bergen Community College Scholarship Office. If you're a mom and caregiver and you're interested in going back to school, come and learn about all of the scholarships that a lot of times people don't apply for because they don't know exist. So there's so much money that you can receive for going back to school. So come on out and learn about that. And then finally, if you need someone to talk to one-on-one, maybe working in a group coaching, counseling setting is not your thing. And there's some things that you want to share, but you want to just share between someone that you trust. You can work with me individually. That link is below. I've also put all my social media information, TikTok, YouTube. This is YouTube. Sorry. LinkedIn. People was just texting me. LinkedIn and Instagram. All of those links are below if you want to stay connected with me. And if you feel like you want to donate to this channel, maybe this channel is blessing you and I'm saying things that you feel like sometimes the messages are just for you. That's definitely always appreciated. And before I go, the last thing I want to say to you is there's a quote that someone sent me. So I also want to thank Laura Troy from the Displaced Homemakers of Bergen County and the Displaced Homemakers Network, because they've definitely been extremely supportive. So the quote goes, "Letting people be wrong about you or a situation while keeping your peace and focus is the most misunderstood power move you will ever make." So when people want to argue with you about your parenting decisions and just who you are and what you do with your children, hold your peace, hold your power, because guess what? God is ultimately in control. Trust God in your parenting. So this is Elise A. Wiggins. I'm grateful you were able to watch this to the end. Comment below and let me know if anything resonated with you or any topics that you would like me to discuss for moms and caregivers. Until next time, moms, don't wait for a leader. Become one.